What do you see from the Yanks? Do you ever go out to Silicon Valley or at Silicon Alley in New York? I mean, maybe you can't move your business model there, but do you see things that they do better than we do here?
Yeah, we go out there. So we're in Silicon Valley a couple of months ago. There's a big conference out there called Lend It for the peer-to-peer space, and it's about 1,000 attendees. It was a great event. But in terms of what we see out there, we're talking more to the investors, so the VCs and perhaps the institutions that are looking to deploy capital onto our platform.
Right.
And I think we see that they're more open-minded in many respects, and actually probably a little bit more aggressive. Where what we find the mentality seems to be a little bit in the UK is that sort of finding an excuse not to invest. Perhaps where in the US it's sort of how big's the market, how do we attack it, how quickly can we penetrate X% of it. So it's quite refreshing to go out to the US actually.
And would VCs use your platform to invest their money, or would you be talking to institutions and insurance companies and things like that?
Yeah, it's institutions to deploy debt.
Right, to deploy debt, right, okay. So less VCs, but just...
But the VCs for equity for our business.
Okay, right, okay, to get involved in your business, right, for equity plays. And what do you think about the P2P equity plays here in the UK and in the US?
I think it's interesting. So I think platforms like Cedars are really good. I think, Jeff Lynn, they've got a good management team there. They're sort of getting good traction. They're getting great PR, and I think that's really good, and that's really positive for the sector. I think, as long as people appreciate when they invest on those platforms that there's a high chance that they will lose their money. And I think I've actually even heard Jeff say that at a conference, the majority of startups will fail, and so the majority of investments you invest perhaps on a platform through, the crowdfunding sort of model, then they will fail. So as long as investors understand that, then that's okay. I think the danger is that, type of guys that are investing, 100 quid here and there, perhaps don't understand that. And that's the big difference between crowdfunding and peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer is debt, you're lending, so there is a real expectation you'll get that money back, and that should be the case. But equity crowdfunding, there's a few players that are getting that right.
Your risk profile is significantly less than an equity profile.
I mean, we're secured against property as well. So actually we think we're, even of all the offerings out there, we're sort of as low as it goes in terms of the risk profile.
Have you had any flat out losses?
No. We haven't. So in 6 years of lending, we've never lost a penny of capital.
Right. Have you had to liquidate properties?
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is, it's not a good experience, but it is in terms of experience for the business.
Right.
Certainly our first year of lending was the worst. And that's probably our real concern with the industry as a whole, in terms of there's a lot of sort of tech startups getting involved in lending. And particularly if they're lending sort of to 3 or 5 years in terms of duration, it's a fairly slow feedback loop. It might take them sort of 4 or 5 years to realize how bad they are at doing it, and they're doing it with other people's money. So that's a real risk for the sector. Where for us, we've been lending for a long time, short-term mortgages, 6 months. We're sort of, we've evolved our model considerably in terms of our underwriting processes, over 6 years.
How can anybody sign up, publish an event, and start selling tickets in a matter of minutes? We love the notion of people gathering. We really thought about low friction. We want to be that cable TV of live experiences. We basically broke all the startup rules. It's fairly insane to go into a business venture with your fiance. My advice, to any 20-year-old or fledgling entrepreneur is to not listen to their parents. Do something really incredible.